Hello, everyone. Welcome to my top 10 cards of the year for 2016. I thought of making this kind of list because I don't think there's anyone who's ever done something like this, especially someone who's actually played competitively throughout this entire year, since day one, since January, since the degenerate Pepe format to Prague, which was like Cosmo and Draco Pals, and then surviving through the national season with decks like Clifford Demise, etc., Monarchs, the European Championships, the NAWCQ, with cards like Beatrice coming out, ABC Dragon Buster, which we are at now, Pawn of Acquisitiveness, all these amazing cards that have come out this year, and I've decided to make a top 10 list of what I think were the best cards of this year. Um, just do note there was so many, so hard, so hard to make this list. There were so many insane cards, so many good, solid cards, and unfortunately, this is a top 10 list. If this was top 20, it would be so easy. I'd be able to just put all of these in it, but I digress. That would be way too long for me to do, and top 10 is just a lot easier. So, number 10. Ooh, starting off with number 10, we got ABC slash Union Hanger, ABC Dragon Buster specifically. This is one of the best fusion monsters they've ever printed, like by far. Especially with Union Hanger as well. This deck was so strong. I put this in the same range as Malifaux's Mithrilium, how it just changed everything. Um, but I don't think Mithrilium is as important of a boss monster like ABC Dragon Buster is. The card is so crazy. The deck is so good. Um, so yeah, that's why I pick it. Next up, we've got Ghost, Reaper, and Winter Cherries in the number 9 slot. Oh boy, did I enjoy getting cherries at YCS Liverpool almost every single match. It was disgusting. This card is so good. It's so good against Burning Abyss. People thought, oh, Burning Abyss is literally unplayable, and people still played Burning Abyss, because who cares about Winter Cherries? Doesn't matter if my Dante's gone, my Burning Abyss my Phantom Knight part of my deck will still beat you. But I digress. This card was such an important card for this year. It's one of the defining cards of the summer to even now. Because Paleozoic Frog still plays this card in the side deck. This card's so good, and it's still going to be played for months to come. I'm almost certain with the upcoming Zodiac deck. So yeah. Next up, we've got the number 8 slot, Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. This card is so ridiculous. Who thought it was alright to print this card? I digress though. This card was printed in the OCG in 2015, but it didn't come out for us until February of this year, I think. So, or even March, I think. But yeah, um, this card's absolutely insane. It made Burning Abyss such a different deck. Um, such a different deck. Before the deck would go summon 3 Dantes, pass. Afterwards, after this card came out, they would go summon Beatrice, pass. Without 3 Dantes, people were like, why are people cutting Dante now? This doesn't make any sense. You should play 3 Dante. No, this card was just the most ridiculous card. Actually, you did play 3 Dante. When this card is at 3. Like, oh, I'm not gonna get into this card. It made Burning Abyss Phantom Knight such an insane deck. This deck literally dominated. Like once it came out, I'm fairly certain the deck was so good. Um, I don't I think it was just better than Pendulum in every way, but whatever. Yeah, this oh, and the fact that this card is so easy to summon, has a great ability, and it's also slightly generic because you can make it in other decks as well. Um, and the fact that if it gets Solemn Warning or Solemn Strike or just gets summon negated or just dies in general, you get to summon a free Dante Pilgrim or a Virgil. Like the XYZ Dante, but you can do that. It's so crazy. I just don't get it. This card's so good. Next up in level number 7 slot, we've got the one, the only Cosmic Cyclone. This, um, wasn't too sure about putting this card on this list, but I've also realized that this is one of the most meta-defining cards of this year. Also, once it came out in the late summer, um, like I put this card above like so many cards. This card is just really solid. Like MST is one of the best cards of all time. Like look at this card. It's like MST but better. Like in a way. Like banishing spells and traps is just so strong. And I rate this card really highly. Next we got Twin Twisters in the number 6 slot. You obviously saw this coming. This card is ridiculous. Once you're like not many decks like play this really anymore. Like people are starting to cut it, but have you read this card? It says most of the time discard one card that I will probably get advantage of, and then I get a 1 for 2 essentially. This card's insane. It's even a quick play spell card, which made it even more like on the crazy scale. Once I first read this card, I thought it was just a normal spell card. It's like, this card's not that great. And then I saw the stupid little lightning bolt symbol in the top right corner, and I was like, this card is just ridiculous. But it's not as ridiculous as the top 5. So getting on to the top 5, we've got the number 5 slot, Dimensional Barrier. People are probably wondering, why isn't this in the, like, higher up on the list? Like, pretty sure other cards, are a lot better than this card. No, this card, is not as good as the other 4 cards in this list, in my opinion. This card, sure, yeah, it's strong, but ooh, the other cards on the list is like, I won't deny this card is incredible, but it's not like the end all be all, most like the best card of like one of the best cards of this year. It's just not. Like this card is not that great. It doesn't like remove anything. It's like more of a stun card. This card it's really bad going second unless you yourself get dimensional barrier. Then you set your own dimensional barrier. You dimensional barrier your opponent. Hope to not die. Your turn goes back to you again. You get barriered again. The cycle continues. Like as all I know, like it's a card that you can't MSC this or whatever because it's just a chainable trap card. And yeah, I get that, but this card's insane. But it's like not the end all be all. Number 4 slot, no surprise, Solemn Strike, my personal favorite trap card they've ever printed, this year. This card is so versatile. It basically has no drawback. Paying 1,500 life is like nothing. Um, Card is so good. Like I put it above a barrier, and yeah, you're probably wondering, number 4. There's 3 more cards better than this card. Yeah. I don't think I have much to say about Solemn Strike. This card was, I'm pretty sure it was played in like 90% of decks this year. Like, literally like 90%. ABC plays this. Metal Foes can play this. I'm pretty sure Blue Eyes played this. Uh, okay, Monarch in fairness didn't play this, but every other deck in that format played this. Pepe played this. Cosmo played this. Like, all these decks played this card. I wouldn't be surprised if like the the number of how many like people used like how many of this card were on people's deck list this year were like 90% or something like across all deck lists. It wouldn't surprise me. This card is just so phenomenal. On to the number 3 slot, however, we have my favorite card they have ever printed, Pathesism of the Monarchs. This is one of the most ridiculous support cards they have ever printed. I might get a lot of hate for this, because the Monarch deck in general did get a lot of hate. No one likes this deck at all, except the people who actually did play the deck. Like myself, I played the XYZ variant for most of this year. I loved this deck. This card is also just the defining card of the Monarch deck that was this year. This is one of the most ridiculous draw spells ever. It's a it's like a trade-in, but the cards you can discard off this can make you plus, and also it can add itself so you can keep digging further. Ugh, this card is so ridiculous. It's so good. I don't understand why more people don't put this card on their list. This card is literally the nuts. If you see this card in your hand and you have any Monarch spell and trap card in your hand, you're just like, I've unbricked. This card alone gave the Monarch deck so much advantage. Yeah, there's Ether and Erebus, but this card was the end all be all, best card. Like my favorite card to ever resolve this year. This card is just, it feels so good when you go Baptism Prime, draw 2, banish, reveal 3 tenacities. You give me a tenacity, I activate tenacity, I bring out Gofu, bring out Prime, make it Solka and set stuff, and then summon an Erebus, loop a card out of your hand, and also have a Crystal Wing and then Stormforth, Erebus. Oh, I know I'm fangirling a lot, but this was one of my favorite cards. I was so passionate about the Monarch deck. I thought it was so good. You could play so many variants of it, and this card allowed it all, essentially. So yeah, this is my personal favorite card of the year. But I can't make this on my own personal things. I have to, have a more like a non-biased approach to this. So my number 2 card that I think was one of the best cards this year was Pot of Desires. You thought this would be number 1, didn't you? Well, it's not. There's cards that are they just blew this out of the water. But this card is absolutely ridiculous. It's one of like I'm pretty sure it is played in like 90% of decks it's played in. Like as soon as it was released. This card is ridiculous. Right. Let me let you zoom in, right? Right. So let's ignore like most of the text, right? And then we zoom in on the part where it says draw 2 cards. It has no real drawback. Banishing top 10 cards of your deck face down. Yeah, sure. You can sometimes on the very like small chance that you banish like, oh, I banish all of my Lazulis. Oh, I can't use Brilliant Fusion now. Oh, this card sucks. The chances of like you banishing 3 copies of like whatever is so low that like it just doesn't matter. You are drawing 2 cards. People were like, oh, I don't want to play this in BA. I don't want to banish my Grapher Seer. It doesn't matter if you banish those cards. You're still winning the game because you drew 2 cards. This card was literally ridiculous. It's still playing everything. It's not going to be played in everything next year though, but still so strong. Definitely like one of the top 2 best cards of the year, arguably. But then you're probably wondering, TheMegaErasor, what could possibly be better than a card that's better than Pantheism of the Monarchs, better than Solemn Strike, Dimensional Barrier, Pot of Desires? Well, I've got a very easy answer. The best deck of all time. Have you read Performapal Monkey Board? Have you read Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer? Why did they print these cards? It just makes no sense. Well, okay, this was end all be all. I just thought that Yu-Gi-Oh was just retarded. Like, oh my god, I don't think I've been more angry at a card than Performapal Monkey Board. This card basically just says, search my deck. Like you know you're in shit when like you're playing against the like. Oh, by the way, the number 1 spot only doesn't belong to this card. I'm gonna just take a little chance to say this entire deck. All the cards in this deck were just ridiculous. Like Guiding Ariadne was insane in this deck. Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer was insane in this deck. Even though Pendulum Sorcerer came out like a year ago in the OCG, like way long before any of this stuff came out. But still, like 2015, like the number 1 card of 2015 was like, well, like Necros of Bryanak, I guess. Um, can't think of anything else in 2015. I don't remember 2015 too fondly, in fairness, but oh my god, there is no better deck than Pepe. Oh my god. Performapal Performage. Oh my god. Was this deck so bullshit? Deck was so strong. Like, I know this isn't like the top 10 decks of 2016, but this is like definitely the best card of this year. This card was banned in like 6 months. Or like 9 months after its release. It's basically like the baby rulers that got banned. It's on the same level as those cards. This card got hit like 2 weeks into its release, I think, right? It got put to one on the adjusted list. Anyway, was put to one in like 3 weeks of its release. That's faster than the dragon, the baby rulers. Like, this card is so ridiculous. It just goes to show, like, I think it's the only time this has ever happened. Maybe Trish was the only other like different thing. Maybe Necros as well, I think, because I think a balance came out for Necros like a bit into a race, but not as fast as Monkey Board getting hit. Holy shit, this card was so ridiculous, and this entire deck. But yeah, it just blows my mind. Honorable mentions though, can't forget the other cards that I thought were really insane this year. Cosmo Tin Can, Cosmo Dark Witch or whatever her name is. Uh, Neptibus, the Atlantean Prince, even though it was out for ages in the OCG, only got printed this year and it made the water deck so insane. Cyber Dragon Infinity and cards like it, totally awesome. I think totally awesome was like on my 11th, or other than like Mithrilium. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon's insane card. Harbinger, uh, number 38 Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy, I think it's called. Um, Metalfoes Mithrilium is an insane card, totally awesome. Metalfoes Fusion, the actual spell card, when you like think about it, that card is just insane. Um, Guiding Ariadne, like I can't really think, like there's just so many cards that you all just mesh together because there's so many good cards. There's also Card of Demise, uh, you know, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Don't get me started about that card. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of longer video this time. And I know I've kind of been on a tangent for most of this video, but just wanted to express how ridiculous this deck slash card was. Like, I don't think I've been more angry at anything in my life than when my opponent top decks when I see this card, right, when my opponent has no cards on the field or in the hand, and then my opponent goes draw, and I see this face in the pendulum scale, I've never been more salty in my life, and it's happened to me multiple times this year. This card is just by far the best card I've printed this year. Oh. But yeah. Oh, Drake of Face Off is another card we can put on this list. Under honorable mentions. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and the Mega Racer signing out.